Hey, peace world. I'm not gonna be on here long. I wish I could make this as short, but my thoughts are a little won't fit into a minute. Um, Juwan Howard, man. Ironically, ironically, the night before I caught the Michigan and Wisconsin game, the night before I watched, I caught Cedric the Entertainer's port, and obviously in his segment, Cedric had the joke about I don't know if it was Barack Obama. Was that too early? But he said something. Maybe it was too early because that's why he was joking about it. But he said, the president couldn't be black because you couldn't ask the president certain questions. And he was like the whole Monica Lewinsky thing and the reporter, the bit about the reporter asking it. He was like, "How you gonna ask this in front of my family?" And then he was like, "We got to get out of here because the president be fighting people. To fight the president violent. That type of thing." But here we are now with Juwan Howard, one of the better coaching jobs in the country, multi-million dollars, per year. And he gets into this situation with the coach at Wisconsin. What was that, Saturday or Sunday? And it's not so much that I'm trying to get at the brother for how mindless, how foolish, being allowed to let that situation get the better of him. It is what it is. So some people out here are going to be more willing to overlook that or more lenient on that decision right there. Some people, we all over the place on that. But at the end of the day, what really turned me off was like he couldn't even explain it. After the fact, after he had time to recollect and unwind, decompress, and the situation was de-escalated, he couldn't even sit there and explain why he did what he did. And I think that's what, this is a man, what I got to go through to earn my little nickels, my little shekels. And this brother, like some of the others out here that earn that are guaranteed and they've earned it. They have all this money, make all this money, have all this glory, prestige, honor, and privilege, all this stuff. And then the brother screws it up and was just like, gave some BS explanation of and just a horrible account of what happened. Regardless or not if his team was disrespected or if the coach from Wisconsin, Gard, I think is his name. I don't even know the dude's name. Whatever, regardless of what he did, whatever kind of an affront it was, basketball wives, not basketball wives, it wasn't completely out of the realm of basketball. You know what I'm saying? It seemed to be foolish or disrespectful or kind of like out of the norm that you would call a timeout that late in the game. But what the coach was trying to explain to him was like, hey, you didn't back down, so I couldn't call off the dogs on my side. I had to go with my A guys because you still had your A guys out there. And then the lastly to move on, the thing that really is perplexing is the fact to throw in, this is how you can't even defend some of this shit when you jump out here trying to talk about some of this stuff. He goes and says, well, I felt the need to protect myself. Did he get patted down for a shank or something before he left the locker room? Or, does Madison, Wisconsin have a reputation for coaches getting shanked or stabbed or something? I felt the need to protect myself. He said, I felt the need to protect myself, but you endangered your whole 15 or 25 people that are under your responsibility. And I got to tip my cap to the people of Madison who didn't react the way that I thought they might have reacted once things blew up. I couldn't believe that maybe they were just so shocked at what happened in a 19-point blowout Maybe everybody was just shocked, too shocked to even act. But, you know, fast forward, you know, looking down at what's going on with the NFL. We sitting here with this man with the lawsuit, Flores with the class action lawsuit, and the constant fight for there to be the right represent or an acceptable representation of minorities as head coaches. You know, but here you are in a leadership position, and it's a horrible look. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there was any way for there to be a win here in Juwan's situation. I'm not sitting here with the extremist view that he should have been fired. I think this 5-game suspension is completely adequate. I think that it wouldn't even be bad if it was just for the postseason too. They might make the NIT or something, maybe. I don't know. The season has been a big disappointment. But sitting down, talk to him. I know the situation was out there last year with Turgeon over in Maryland. There was another situation. But give him a stern conversation and tell him that, hey, bro, you know, to whom much is given, much is expected. You know, and to sit out here and blow up the way that he did and slap the man upside the head, you know, that's just not gonna fly. That's just not gonna fly. And I'm looking at, you know, I'm looking at Anthony Grant from the UD Flyers a couple of weeks ago in St. Louis. He loses his mind, and I somewhat understand where he was coming from because one of his players was confronted as he traveled into the off the court of play and went over into the stands. A former St. Louis player confronted his player. So I kind of understand where Anthony Grant was coming from. But again, you know, how far do you go with sticking up for your players? Penny Hardaway, a couple of weeks ago, he blows up and tells the whole media room, quit effing with me, quit playing with me. I'm just, hey, you know what I'm saying? If we can't go out here and demonstrate that we can operate in this profession on that level with the stress that comes with it, with the criticism that comes with it, if you can't do it, the opportunities are probably going to go away. End of story. Now, the other thing that I was talking about, like because I'm seeing some black fans wanted to just dismiss this altogether. Hey, it's nothing, you know, okay. But I'm not going to front. This is one thing about boxing and the fact that it seems like thuggery in boxing and the street stuff in boxing is kind of becoming commonplace or synonymous with boxing. It was cats making millions of dollars way before anybody was sitting around trying to prove how street they are. I'm not trying to say that brothers have to be street squeaky clean. But what I'm saying is, if we can't make any correlation between the waning appeal of boxing and some of what we see on social media and some of what we see in the attitudes and how some of the fighters are presenting themselves, and why the appeal of these individuals just isn't universal. I mean, if we can't sit here and see the correlation in that, then I don't know why I don't understand what's happening anymore. Again, and I'm gonna say it like this. I know why I feel like I'm pretty right here. The dude that's making the most money in the game, with the exception of what you might see with his ring walk and the music that might be played with his ring walk, Errol Spence is not out here really pushing nothing about being street or being hard or whatever the phrase is. But it's nothing that he puts out there that doesn't make him look like a professional athlete. As a matter of fact, he's one of the few boxers who has a solid relationship with an important business figure in Jerry Jones that helps his business. It's why others want to get involved with the Errol Spence Jr. business. And I can't overlook the fact that if Errol Spence Jr. was out here acting like now, and I know he had the DUI and the car crash and everything, I mean, NFL, NBA players, a lot of people have the DUIs. They may not have the crashes the crash that was caught on videotape. But you can kind of get over it. You can get by on a mistake or two. But some of the domestic violence stuff, like I said, a lot of the content on the social media accounts of some of these guys, I'm sitting here myself like, hey, I'm not trying to judge these cats, but it's easy for me to just watch something else. It's easier for me to support the cornerback at Michigan or the running back at Ohio State. It's easier for me to just watch this dude from the young guys on the Cleveland Cavaliers or the rookies in the NFL. It's other ways that I can spend, it's other sports that I can follow, and I don't have to support idiots. I mean, some of the behavior, I'm sorry, that's just not what I'm putting my money behind. I know I made a video a couple years ago when Adrian Broner had harassed a young woman on a video on a live, and I ain't like it. I didn't really rock with that. And I made a video about it. I didn't buy the pay-per-view that he was getting ready to be a part of because of that. And, somebody made a comment, you just a Tom, you just a sellout, yada, 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 whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you put stuff out here to the public and leave it in a person's hands to make a decision of whether or not they're going to support your business or not. I made my decision to do something else that weekend. I didn't tell nobody else not to support him. I just said, hey, I didn't need to see that. I saw that. I can't ignore I can't unsee what I saw. I'm good. I'll go do something else this weekend. Lastly, just as a community, the reliance that's put on professional sports and making it in professional sports to escape the grips of poverty across the country in these inner cities. Again, how we cannot make any correlation between how we present ourselves is either going to attract, it's either going to sell tickets, or it's going to attract interest in our sport, interest in me as an individual athlete. It's going to help my brand. Again, just because you box does not mean that you shouldn't be out here trying to get endorsement deals. Ryan Garcia shouldn't be the only guy benefiting from the fact that he's a professional athlete. Robert Garcia, the boxing trainer of many, he shouldn't be the only dude with an endorsement deal with Adidas as a trainer. Like, if you are an elite athlete at what you in your sport and what you do, you should be trying to benefit from that in a multitude of ways. Like, you should be trying to get a meeting with whoever. Just because you're a boxer doesn't mean you got to be over here acting like a savage. I don't know how we got here, but that's what it is nowadays. And hey, some people from the school that thought that all publicity is good publicity, But again, it's a lot of brothers out here screaming every day, every week, why they can't get certain fights, why they can't get the right type of money, why I don't have no leverage in this, blah, blah, blah. And then you sit here and nobody knows any of these guys. And again, we make no correlation that, and I don't think this is no secret, but you look at the shift and the focus towards the Mexican and the South American fighters. They cost less. They have less. Their guarantees are lesser. Because the business is smaller, they're more likely to fight whoever they put in. A lot of them just tell you, hey, they put anybody in front of me, I'll fight them. And in these weight classes below 118 pounds, we got all types of fights happening. And it's because the money is right. The cost to put those on works. Whereas you go work with a brother with a decent name, get to 17-0, 18-0. They become increasingly difficult to do anything with them. And I ain't saying that brothers shouldn't be astute businessmen about their worth and their value. But again, you look at a lot of these brothers week to week, they can't get fights. They're not active. They fighting once a year. You know? And it's just, you know, some of the, like I said, I don't know when it's going to click for some people about what's acceptable in your community, in your culture, might not be acceptable across the board. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready to talk about this on a podcast. I'm just trying to put the thoughts together. I'm not even going to tease it like that. But anyway, you know, Juwan Howard, you in a great position. Things was going very well for you. I know things fell apart this year. That's going to be looked at. You know, is this an aberration? Are you incapable of doing what you're supposed to do? Do we need to move on? All of that stuff will be getting reviewed here pretty shortly. I'm pulling for you, but you can't sit here and risk your whole career because a dude pissed you off at the end of a 19-point blowout. Like, you gotta be bigger than this. You have to be smarter than this. And then, like I said, whenever you get in a situation and you come back on the back end after the fact, and you can't even sit here and really explain your side of things, and it carry water at all. Brother was like, screw it. I did what I did. Screw it. We can't be paying you $5 million a year or whatever it is, $3 million, whatever. We can't do that and put you in control of our program, and your thought process, your problem solving ability is that dismal. You got to be bigger than that. So I hope he uses this as a moment to learn from it and grow. Again, you know, it's bigger than just getting your respect, or this dude put his hands on me, I felt protected. It's I mean, if you got to be told this, I mean, and it's already a lost cause. But damn, I don't know. Anyway, that's where I had to come with. Like I said, man, the people out here that was like, fire Coach Juwan. I mean, come on, man. Seriously. People get pissed off and stuff. People, you know, everything ain't no church choir and squeaky clean. I mean, people cuss people out. People confront people. Like I said, Cheney back in the days, you know, Calipari is lucky to even be alive in the 2000s after what John Cheney, I think, wanted to do with him when he was at Temple. John Thompson cussed a bunch of people out back in the 80s and 90s. Bobby Knight was a damn mess. I mean, it ain't like, you know, people, it's been a choir boys and everything the last 30, 50 years. There's been some unruly cats. And just because he did make contact with this Krabbenhoff, or whatever his name is, the assistant coach, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. But from here on out, you know, you're going to be on thin ice, bro. So that's my take on it. Let me get on out of here. I got to finish the rest of my day. Peace.